My name is Kevin Hurley. I work for the Untitled Whiskey Company as Global Brand Ambassador, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Irish whiskey and its history. Throughout the 17 and the 1800s, Irish whiskey was once the biggest selling whiskey category in the world globally. We had about 60 to 70% of the world's market share was Irish whiskey. At this time, we used to sell Scotch whiskey in Scotland and American whiskey and rum combined in the United States of America. And through the turn of the last century, we had a decline in Irish whiskey that was almost terminable. We went from having about 60 to 70% of the market share and well over 100 distilleries operating in the island of Ireland to having about 1% by the mid-1900s and having only 2 distilleries operating in Ireland. And this decline really was the result of a number of external forces to Irish whiskey. We had the Irish War of Independence against Great Britain, where we could no longer freely trade our whiskey throughout the British Empire as we were no longer part of the British Empire. And also around the same time we had Prohibition in the United States. So our 2 biggest markets for Irish whiskey closed off within a couple of years of each other. So Irish whiskey went from being extremely popular to being very, I suppose, in a troublesome place and almost getting wiped off the face of a map. At this time, distilleries were closing left, right and centre. We had only a couple of distilleries remaining, and the last distillery to close in Dublin closed in the 1970s. It was the Powers Distillery. They closed in 1976 and they moved their production down to Cork. So we haven't had a distillery operating in Dublin for about the last 40 years or so. Up until last year when Teeling Whiskey, we opened our new distillery right in the heart of Dublin City in the Liberties. And the reason why Dublin is relevant to this story is because when Irish whiskey was so popular, it was all centred around Dublin City really. And Dublin City whiskey was seen to be the premium product, much in the same way as cognac is seen to be the premium brandy. Dublin whiskey was seen to be the premium of the Irish whiskey category. And it's a shame that we haven't had a Dublin whiskey in the longest time, but that's really why we're here, and that's why we're back distilling in the heart of Dublin City. We are the largest independent whiskey company in Ireland. We're owned by 2 brothers, and one of the few Irish whiskies that are actually owned by Irish people. We see it as our responsibility as an independent company to bring a bit of diversity to the category. When we had only 2 distilleries operating on the island of Ireland, the category got quite narrow and there wasn't a whole lot of experimentation. We were really, as a category, just trying to survive rather than to innovate. But now that we've got new independent distilleries coming to the fore, the category is starting to broaden a little bit. And as the leading independent distillery, we see it as our responsibility to try and do that also and try and lead that new innovation. So everything we have in our 3 whiskies that we have available here in the United States, which is our small batch, our blend, we've got a single grain whiskey and a single malt whiskey as well. And what we do is through interesting cask maturation and blending techniques, we try and bring innovation and bring new flavours to the Irish whiskey category. And what I have in my hand here is our blended whiskey. This is our flagship, our Teeling small batch. It's a blend of about 70% grain whiskey and about 30% single malt. We age both of these components independently of each other for about 5.5 years in a bourbon cask, and then we blend them together and take them through a marrying period for a further 6 to 9 months in a Nicaraguan rum cask. So again, we're doing something that has never really been done before in Irish whiskey in this rum cask maturation. And what that brings to the whiskey is this lovely, fruity, almost tropical fruit kind of flavour and a really nice kind of dark Demerara sugar note, and to complement the underlying kind of stone fruit, apricot peach that you would associate with high malt barley content blended whiskey.